Hello Tubesters, it's me Gav and welcome to another one of my videos. Today it's having, well, we've already seen Barbarian Joe here. There we go, get close to the camera, Joe. Named after Joe from Mad Genius Productions channel. I'm told it's a very good likeness of Joe. So if you want to see Joe working out, pop down Venice Beach and in Los Angeles I believe, and either that or Blackpool. If you're not outside, if you're outside the UK, check where Blackpool is. Yeah, it might be there. I'm not too sure, but with Joe's accent, I'd say it's probably stateside. Right. Anyway, yeah, it was the base I was going to do for picking it up. Might as well wait till we get to the bench. I wanted to do a deserty type base for him, and hopefully an opponent. Now I've had some problems with the opponent. I believe I may have said it on another video. Because this video is also to introduce some dwarfs that I've painted a week or so ago. I've just been sticking some little bits of rocks around the base of the feet just to hide stuff. Anyway, I'm digressing again. Get back to Joe and his barbarianness. Yeah, hopefully I'm going to squeeze a second figure on there, and I chosen one which I thought was quite good. Some skeletal looking-ish. I believe he's called a necromancer. I believe. And I've thought, you know, put it down onto Chi2 box and everything, and all the only thing that ever appeared was the base, because you can. Some of these guys come without bases. I'm not sure. Most of them do have a base, and you just have to press the button. I'm not sure if I did with Barbarian Joe. I mean, I've got it on my file library, but my mini factory. So if I ever wanted to download more, you know, I could see if there's a base on there. But that one I hadn't got a base on, which didn't particularly bother me because I was making my own. The dwarves have a larger base because there's a pair of them, but they also have two single bases. You know, it's whatever you want. So I just wanted to put a second figure on the base with Barbarian Joe, just to, you know, show him having a bit of a fight if it can fit on properly. It's a bit of a squeeze, but of course, yeah, all I could get was the base for some reason. So the only other one I've got on file at the moment is that Ogre, which I still haven't printed off yet, with a big stone, but he's not sure if he's carrying. I think he's carrying that one. It just wouldn't particularly fit with it. Well, I don't think the Ogre would fit, but it wouldn't particularly fit with the scene on that one. So I've got to print off, go and look at some more, and print off another one. The only thing that I'd also always caution people with the 3D printing, it's great, and you get to, you know, a whole host of figures that you want to, you know, that aren't available, say, you know, Games Workshop type stuff. But always remember, you can't sell them, and I'm not on about selling the files, but you can't even paint the figure and then put it up for sale on eBay to give yourself, which is what I if I'm not painting for clients, if I'm painting on the side, I'll often try and sell stuff, usually through Facebook, my own Facebook page first, and then if I can't, then I have to go to eBay, obviously, because you've got the eBay's cuts and things like that. But with these, you can't do it. So I only print as and when I want something. I'm not printing off a thousand figures because I haven't got anywhere to put them. You know, the models and stuff. So you know, I've got no problem giving them away type of thing, but I'm not. I can't get anything back for the resin and all that stuff by selling them. So I'm not going mad at printing figures off, which is why you don't see a lot done. The machines there, they can be, whenever you see them on the Facebook group for the Elegoo Mars, you seem to have a lot of people with leaks and things like that. So how long mine lasts, I've no idea. But hopefully it's there. I'm hopefully going to be doing Friday. I'd found some 1 in 35 stuff because I'd also got it. I wanted to print. I thought there'd be a whole host of files out there, which I'm quite happy to pay for. I'm not asking for free files. I know everyone goes, "Oh, free." I'm quite happy, you know, chuck a couple of quid in the kitty and get something that I want, you know, for the scale modelling, because I pay for the figures. But there's just a real dearth out there, and a lot of them aren't pre-supported. Well, I have to at some stage look at the supported nature of files and that, but I just, at the moment, I'm doing so much. The last thing I want is to spend, and with the way my head goes, it's going to not take me days, it's going to take me a couple of weeks of having to do nothing else on when I stop painting commission figures into working out supports on, and I just don't want to do it. I just want to go somewhere, yes, it's supported, boom, I can, you know, as I say, I'm happy to pay for it. And yeah, there's not a load out there, you know. It's I was surprised actually, but I have found a few pieces which I thought might come in interest. So I'm going to attempt to get some of those printed off. Hopefully Friday. I've got to download the files, and I believe some are for sale, like, you know, literally like £1.50p type of thing, and some of them are, you know, free. But that's 1 in 35 scale. But I've also got to find a figure for Barbarian Joe to have a fight with. But yeah, so that's the only thing, you know, I have with the printing is you know, you have a license when you agree to it, you know, that says you will not, and they have the big list, and you can't sell, well, more or less you can't do anything with them apart from download them for yourself, and, you know, for your own enjoyment. And I do get that, you know, somebody's, especially those that have made them themselves, that's their creativity and all the rest of it. And then somebody will, especially if you're doing it, if it's a business, yes, I am self-employed, but I'm talking about printing one figure, painting it, selling it, and doing something else. But if you're one of these guys with half a dozen printers and you're knocking them out, then I can understand that. It's just, you know, I don't want to end up with boxes and boxes of painted figures that I can't do anything with, you know. So yeah, it's the other thing that where does it stand? I see the lads doing, or lasses, whoever, doing the like the superhero busts and figures and stuff, and Star Wars, and they too say you must not, you know, you cannot sell these on. And I'm thinking, but you're doing them now. You can call it a fan based something and get away with it, but the minute you start selling files, surely you're doing it as illegally, because you haven't got the copyright for that Marvel figure, that Star Wars, well, it's Disney now, isn't it, whatever, but you know, you haven't got the rights to make profit out of that figure. So how can you stop somebody then selling that figure once they've bought it off you and then selling it on the eBay or whatever? I've not particularly any intention of doing that. It's just, I'm new to all this, and I was just wondering how does that stand legally? Surely, if you haven't got the rights to a Batman, you haven't approached Marvel, DC, isn't it? If you haven't got the rights for that, how does it work? Gav comes along, pays his 20, because they all want big bucks for it because it's a superhero. Pay 20 quid for your bust of Batman, paints it, puts it on eBay. Now, are both of us illegal? Or are you the person that's, or just am I legal? Or are you illegal for selling it when you haven't got the copyright to sell it? You know, sell the file, because you're not doing it as a fan, because you're, even if you may be a fan, but you're still selling the file. It's not having a go at them. I just wondered how it worked. As I say, these guys, they're all people's imagination. So yeah, I get it. You know, they thought of it. What I mean, well, you know, I'm not saying the busts, you know, the superheroes and that aren't out somebody's imagination. What I mean is, there's nobody with a hold on that figure. There's no copyright involved. You know. Yeah, interesting one. Right, should we go down to the bench and have a look at these 3D printed by me? I'm not making any profit on them. Is how it's progressing. See you in a minute. Right, guys, thanks for joining me at the bench. Let me just get my brew out of the way. Keep moving it. I must get another stand for this camera because, as I say, it screws in at the front of the camera and is quite unbalanced, and one of these days you just know it's going to fall over my figures. Right, we got no more progress on Barbarian Joe. He needs that skull, which I've decided to be metal. I need to do some non-metallic metal on that. As Gav stifles a sneeze, sorry about that. But I would like a bit more. There's not a lot of ruckled up leather material on the boots, and I'd just like to make them a bit better than they are. And the same with that little roll up pack there on the back. There is some distressed look to it, which you can't particularly see at the moment, but yeah, it just needs that bit more. I'm not doing any more, apart from if I have to clean up anything that I've hit with a brush, but I'm not doing anything more to the figure apart from that. We can only guess that that's Joe down to a T, I would imagine. Right, here's the base that was made from blue foam with just a Wargames MDF base stuck underneath it. Yeah, I know it's not very tidy at the bottom, but I'm not that fussed on that. But yeah, it's blue foam, the usual sand, and well, with this I've also mixed in different gradients of ballast and as I say, parrot cage, cuttlefish, crushed cuttlefish I think it is. Mamara, Ian Aitken, go check out Ian Aitken, and that's Dark Blade channel. Well, it's Ian Aitken's channel, but he goes under the name Dark Blade here and on Instagram. He'd obviously seen the video, or I can't remember if I'd said to him or he'd seen the video, and I couldn't get the crackle paint to work. It was only a crackle medium, and he sent me some distressing stuff that artists use or whatever. Now, I haven't done enough of that to really know how it works, and obviously it probably works better with putting more on than that. To that degree, and obviously in a lot of parts it hasn't, but to be honest with you, I think it's really worked in my favour, because it has gone really random. So we've got some of the thicker stuff there, and less going into the shadow areas type of thing. Then around the edges I've tried to make sure we've got some there as well. There we go, that might be a bit better. Tried to put a real highlight, as if the sun's going through there. I don't know if it really worked, and tried to highlight the edges. Readied up the actual rocks themselves, the strata, and then put some brown, pink brown I think it's called, and stuff on the stones again, just to give it a bit more. A bit more colour. I was gonna stick somewhere around here some like vegetation that I'd made, and it looked so bad. No, let's leave it at that. It's a desert base, and that's good enough. As I say, we'll have Joe somewhere up on the top here, and then we'll have the enemy somewhere. I'm hoping for an enemy anyway, because not just printing off wise, but I don't know if it's actually being a bit too compressed, but we'll see. But yeah, that's his base. So that's what we've got done on that front. And then what I wanted to show you, I'll leave them stuck down to this. So I've been I haven't been painting them on that. I've painted them on cork and then mounted them. These are my dwarfs. Now, I've got to say, if two well-known YouTubers, aka Jeff from Jeff's Garage and Charlie Mack, from the Model Works, if they were two dwarfs out to slay giants, I think they'd look a lot like these guys. Now, who's who? I don't know. I don't know which is the natural leader out of the two of them. Now, these are actually supposed to be brothers. I can't remember the name. I should have wrote it down. I put non-metallic metal on everything, and there's a lot of non-metallic metal to do there. And I wanted the dwarfs to be real, like, warm tones, everything warm about them really, but the heads, I wanted them to be dead, so have that cold look to them. So everything come on, focus again. Everything that we can see with the non-metallic metal and everything is quite bright, and I didn't want to orange the hair up like you see these Games Workshop dwarfs that are almost completely orange hair. I wanted everything to his to be slightly more than his, just to be, they are brothers, not twins, just to try and get a slight thing. I don't know if you can see. Let's see if we can get in closer. Come on. going in closer on my figures. He's got his cigar in his mouth, and he's obviously reading the map. I've done like one of them old-fashioned maps like Lord of the Rings, where it's just parchment and one colour. But yeah, you know, I don't know a lot about fantasy at all, so where somebody else can go straight away as you know, oh, these are lights or these are grenades or whatever. So I put them as a bit of glass. I didn't want to put any OSL next to the armour, because it was all starting to. It is a real complex type of figure to paint. As I say, well, I haven't said, but the one thing with prints as well is when you do, like I say, Games Workshop figure, not that I've done a lot, but they are made to be easy to paint to a degree, if that makes sense. Whereas your 3D print, it will print all in one go, so you have to get in all those nooks and crannies and do your best. But yeah, if Charlie and Jeff were two dwarfs on some rocky mountainside discussing where they're going next, they would look a lot like that. A big thing I didn't do on this was two things. The cape, I wanted that, I did want it that colour, and I wanted it a warm and vibrant look, but all those little specks, that's not my painting, that's where Gav didn't clean up the blooming 3D supports. That's all, it's got a ton of supports gone off all that, and I didn't clean it up enough. So, you know, that's my own fault. But you live and learn. I've not really done any of this stuff before, so I was just so eager. I'd seen some of the Spanish painters on YouTube, and I just wanted to have a go at some of their you know, their design. I mean, Jose Da Vinci, really, from the Da Vinci channel, Jose Da Vinci's channel, he really inspired me to do these with his work, and I used most of his dwarf type skin colours and things. But yeah, really thoroughly enjoyed these. You can see, by the way, these aren't spikes on the end of his boots. That's why Gav didn't clean off the supports yet again in his rush to get them on, get them painted. So they've turned him into spikes on the end of his on the end of his metal shoes. But yeah, I hope I've achieved it. It's patchy. You know, Jose's work is obviously a lot more smoother than mine. But for somebody who paints historical figures and doesn't really do a lot of non-metallic, yeah, I know I do what I call historical non-metallic metal, but I don't do it to this type of, you know, hit that much fantasy type stuff. So yeah, very good. I've really enjoyed that. Got a couple of spare figures of these as well. Right, guys, thank you very much for joining me at the bench today and on the video in general. Let's go back a bit. I'm going to see if I can remember to get some photographs of these. I hope everything's going well with you. Coming up, because it does seem to be quite slower on the video front at the moment, but on people's videos rather than mine. Yeah, coming up on my own, I've been tooting away on the Sherman 1 in 35 scale tribute to Victor over at Vic's Minis. Don't worry, Victor, she's more or less all stuck together now, and I've just had a delivery this afternoon of I'm doing a bit of texture on her, and I've just had to wait for some stuff to come through, so that's going to be last bits put on and textured, and I'll have a video of that up some stage, if not the weekend, Monday, Tuesday next week. HMS Kent, I've done a couple of hour and a halves here and there in the very late into the evening, just sticking bits of PE and bits of plastic on. There won't be probably a update until towards the end of the week on her, just because obviously, you know, just show you more. I did spray the hull, and then I had a hairline crack in the blooming moisture trap of the compressor, and it's taken a few days to obviously get the part the new moisture trap, and stick that on. Couldn't unscrew it myself, but Muscles, aka my wife, came along just to kick sand in my face and went punk, and off it came. I swear I loosened it up for her, but yeah, thank you very much for that, Mrs. B. Right, what else have we got coming up? Yeah, paint along. Hopefully I'm doing a paint along video on Friday, so that will be more or less the next video that you see. And that's about it for now. We've got progress on the commission front. Another unit is almost complete. I'm just doing the faces in a bit, and then a tidy up on those, and then they'll start going through the basing process, and so you'll probably see those again towards the end of next week, midweek, something like that. Right guys, that's it. Look after yourselves. Hopefully you get plenty of bench time, whether you're painting figures, whether you're sticking kits together. It's all good fun. It keeps you out of trouble and keeps you from under the wife's feet. Look after yourselves. We'll speak soon.